Hi friends, this is Miss Sadie. Today we're going to do a little lesson in chromatography. So if you are a member of the Boys and Girls Club and you are around this year, you've probably done and talked about chromatography with me before. Chromatography is when you study the way that an ink separates and all of the different colors in an ink. So, how are we going to do that? Well, we're going to do an experiment. So as y'all know, the first and most important thing that you need to have when you do an experiment is a question. So you need to have a question that you're looking for the answer to. And today, our question is going to be, which solvent best separates the marker ink? And which marker ink separates fastest? So we have two questions today. We also obviously are going to need our materials. So I have 4 clear glasses. 4. I have 2 different colored markers. And I have vinegar and water. And last but not least, I have a coffee filter that was cut up into 4 strips. So this step 1 of this experiment is going to be to draw a line on each one of these strips. So 2 of them, I'm going to draw a purple line. I'm going to make it right, let's say in the middle. You can put your line really wherever you want, as long as it's not really close to the bottom, because you don't want it to get to touch the ink, to directly touch the solvent. So for a minute, let's talk about what is a solvent. A solvent is basically a liquid that you're using in your experiment. In this experiment, we have 2 solvents. One of them is water, and one of them is vinegar. So we have these 2 lines that were drawn, and then I'm going to use green, and I'm going to draw a green line in the middle of the other 2. You can use whatever colors you want, and you can do this however many different ways you want. You can even use more than 2 solvents. You could just use 1. If you can think of any liquid that you want and use that as a solvent, well, almost any liquid that you want and use that as a solvent, and as many different ink colors as you want. So there's my 2 green strips. I have this big box in front of me so I can put the cups on it so you can see a little better when I'm doing the experiment. So before we do this, maybe we should make a hypothesis. So what we're going to do, so just so you're fully informed for our to make a hypothesis, is we have 4 cups of clear cups. They're not all going to fit like this. So I'm going to put one here. 2 of them are going to have like about 1 inch of distilled white vinegar. And the others are going to have water. I think I definitely poured too much water, so I'll pour some of it out. We're going to do, depending on your cup size, so this one's taller, I might have a little more, but roughly 1 inch of water as well. And then we're going to put our test strip into the liquid. We're not going to let this line touch the liquid, but we are going to make sure the bottom of our test strip or of our coffee filter is fully submerged in the liquid. So we're going to do 1 green in water, 1 purple in water, and then 1 green in vinegar and 1 purple in vinegar. So the question is, which one is going to start to spread fastest and in which liquid? So my hypothesis, I think, and I would love it if you pause me for a second and think of your very own hypothesis. But my hypothesis, I think, is maybe the purple in the water is going to spread the fastest. But who knows, I could be completely wrong. So we're gonna find out. I'm gonna use my phone to time. Yeah, that's gonna be good. So we're gonna do one experiment at a time. Here we go. I have a bowl I'm pouring the water into. So we'll start with water, and then we'll do vinegar, just so we can focus on one thing at a time. All right, so I'm gonna get my phone, I'm gonna pull up the timer feature, or the stopwatch feature, a little wet. There we go. And as soon as I put, so I'm gonna use these two. As soon as I put them in the water, I'm gonna start my timer, and we are gonna watch and see what happens. So this is chromatography, y'all. I'm gonna fold it over my cup. A little hard to see. There we go. Start. So what we're really watching is how quickly the water is traveling up. I'm gonna push this down a little so you can see better. Woo. Yeah. And then since I pushed the other one down, I'm gonna push this one down. You gotta do the same to each. Whoa. So while we're waiting, oh wait. So the water has reached the very corner of the green, and the green is spreading first. So far my hypothesis is not correct. And that's okay, that happens all the time in science. But while we wait for that, I'm gonna pour my vinegar. There we go. So it's been 1 minute and 30 seconds. There's not a ton of spreading happening. I'm gonna pause you and we're gonna come back when we have a little more that we can see. All right, so it's really only been about 1 minute since I paused, maybe 1.5. And we definitely, it's a little harder to see, but the ink has, the water has reached the ink. So the water is getting sucked up this coffee filter paper, getting sucked up, and then when it reaches the ink, it begins to make the ink spread, and that's the chromatography. So the green definitely was first. The water reached the green line first, and so it's spreading a little faster. And I can definitely, when this is a little more, they've spread out a little more, I'm going to take it out and show you so you can see just a little better. So while we're waiting for that, we will start. So I'm going to stop the timer. It took about 3 minutes and 30 seconds. And we're going to use these cups with vinegar for the next part of our experiment. So this one is going to be a little harder, but I don't have any other clear cups around, so it'll have to do. So I'm gonna go ahead and, well, we can sort of see it. We'll really be able to see it when I take it out. All right. Ooh, oh my gosh. That definitely slipped into the water. I mean, into the vinegar. So even with it slipping into the vinegar, I think the spreading is a little slower than it is with the water. That one slipped. I'm gonna give this just a little closer. You can also make really beautiful art this way. If you want to use paper towels or coffee filters, you can kind of draw on them with washable markers and drip water on it in different ways. And you could even drip other solvents like vinegar if you wanted to give that a try. If you wanted to give that a try, so I got a little distracted. And you can, that will spread and like make these pretty tie-dye patterns. We've made flowers that way before at the club, and I think they turned out really beautiful. So this is actually happening a lot quicker than the water did. That could be because the solvent is a little more effective at spreading the ink than the water is, or it could be because the line was closer to the line of the liquid. So the liquid had less far to travel when it was getting sucked up the paper. So I'm going to show you. Oh yeah, these have spread really nicely. That's what they look like now. And you can kind of see in the green, if you do this at home, you'll notice that the green, there's a line of blue at the top. So these colors that are within the green ink are really starting to separate out. And I think it's very beautiful. And the purple, it's almost like a little lighter at the top. It's like pink at the top, but you can't see super well because my computer is not the newest. So there's the water. Oh no! And you can really see that in this purple, the colors are separating. Actually, in the vinegar, the colors are separating a lot quicker. So maybe it's not spreading as quickly, but you can see a bigger difference in color. So I don't know if you can tell, you can still see that dark purple line, but then there's a line of blue, and then it gets even a little pink at the top. So that is really cool. And so we did not prove my hypothesis, which is totally okay. And that just went all the way in. But it's the same with this. You can see different, a lot of different colors coming out of the same one marker ink. So I hope that y'all really enjoyed this. There's also my future activity that we can link below that gives really clear instructions on how to do this activity at home. And if you have any questions, you can always reach out to me or via the Facebook or the Instagram or anything, whatever works best for you. So thank you so much for watching, and I can't wait to see y'all soon. And I really hope you enjoyed this science experiment.